Before takeoff, a Boeing 787 flying from Newcastle, England, to Cancun, Mexico, was told to divert via Glasgow due to weather in Newcastle. Why? I'll say that for you again. Before takeoff, a Boeing 787 flying from Newcastle, England, to Cancun, Mexico, was told to divert via Glasgow due to weather in Newcastle. Why?
Can you imagine how much of a party plane that must have been? You're flying from Newcastle to Cancun. Like, that's the worst. It's a very long flight. It's a long flight with a lot of people from Newcastle going on holidays. Like,
stag do's, yeah.
I've been through the big market in Newcastle at like 1 a.m. It's rough. It's going to be a lot. I'd apologise to Newcastle, but I've been through the big market.
Now, I'm no geography expert. I'm pretty sure Cancun is south from Newcastle. So why is it going up to Glasgow? Is the weather it's so windy that the whole Boeing 787 is blown north towards Glasgow and it just has to land?
Yes, those strong winds that you get from Newcastle, strong enough to blow a plane all the way to Glasgow.
Did it fly the wrong way because of incredibly bad weather?
Flew backwards.
It was weather in Newcastle, right, that caused the problem?
So a very sort of localised weather problem.
It was, yeah. It was the weather in Newcastle that was the issue. And look, you're right. They did fly the wrong way because of the weather.
So they couldn't go south. They had to go north because to the south of the airport, there was a storm and they wanted to get out to the...
So it's less about... it's less about... hold on. Let me think about how to respond to that. No.
That'll do.
I love it when this is the opposite of an improv show sometimes, where it's just like... No, not that.
Okay, Corry, can I just check? When you say they flew the wrong way, did they fly the wrong way accidentally? Like completely stupidly, they were like, oh, I thought we were going south? Or did they fly the wrong way deliberately because of the weather?
No, they were instructed, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
they were instructed to divert.
They were told to go this way. This was entirely intentional.
Okay, so if the weather in Newcastle is really bad and it's like cold, freezing rain, I'm not sure Newcastle Airport, which is pretty small, would have de-icing equipment. So I'm thinking that the weather was so bad that ice was starting to build up and they... As I say this, it makes no sense. They just wouldn't be able to take off. But like Glasgow might have de-icing equipment. Glasgow had some equipment that let them do the long-haul flight that Newcastle didn't have. And it's probably not de-icing, but something like that.
Tom, you are so close. You even touched on it. Just brushed up against it. Yes,
okay.
Like totally right vibe.
Glasgow's got equipment to deal with this. Newcastle hasn't because it's too small an airport, and that is the closest diversionary airport that can deal with it.
Perhaps facility would be better than equipment.
Hotels. There aren't enough hotels to house all of the guests.
Booze. There isn't enough booze on board. I'm just slagging Newcastle off. I'm just really... I've been to Newcastle like a couple of times in my life, and like I say, like just... It was an experience.
They have to get everyone drunk.
Really offending all the Geordies on this one.
Corry, is there not a hangar in Glasgow that is big enough to house a Boeing 787? Sorry, in Newcastle.
So it's not about housing. It's more about...
Steps! There's no steps that can reach the plane!
So, it's not about reaching the plane. It's about the plane itself. There is a facility...
A runway.
Yeah, something to do with the length of the runways, maybe?
Yes.
Hold on. There's a flight that used to run non-stop, it was called, from London City Airport to New York. And London City's the tiny airport that's just in the Docklands near the city centre. And it wasn't non-stop because that plane had to land on the west coast of Ireland. And that's why you went through immigration pre-clearance, because it couldn't take off with enough fuel because the runway's too short. It had to go over to Shannon, where there's a massive runway, get a full load of fuel there, and then do the run to New York. So is it that the weather was bad in some way that it couldn't have enough fuel to make it to Cancun and take off safely on the short runway at Newcastle, so it had to go to Glasgow to fill up.
That is spot on. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what was the weather? Like high pressure, cold? There's got to be some reason for that.
So, I mean, I could just give it to you here. I mean, it was low pressure. And so the issue was that, the plane couldn't take off with enough fuel from the short runway at Newcastle. So they had to fly to Glasgow because they could take off with enough fuel to get to Glasgow. Glasgow has a longer runway, so they could fuel up, have enough fuel to make the direct flight to Cancun from the Glasgow airport, but not from Newcastle.
Imagine having to explain that to a Boeing 787 full of drunk people ready to go to Cancun.
The runway is too short to take off. So we're going to fly to Glasgow where there's a long enough runway.
I need you all to think laterally about this.
It's going to turn out that this was like a Catholic pilgrimage flight or something, and I've been just deeply inappropriate all the way through this.
I mean, I've been to Cancun, Tom. There's a lot of parties going on in Cancun.